I trust in the certainty of my higher self, of my soul design, and I trust and I have everything I need right here, right now. If you come at a soul level to do. And this is where there's powerful changes in paradigm. You can start to co-create a brand new reality, what's called a resonance of reality. And when you start to magnify and attract in your life, going to start to shift in a higher quality, whether it's partnership, romance, career, financial abundance, health, vitality, practices, your life will resonate in the same light that you bring.
Welcome to the Endless Possibilities Podcast, where the journey of spiritual awakening and energy healing unfolds.
Now, welcome to the Endless Possibilities Podcast. My name is Gareth, and I'm delighted to be here today as your host. Today's guest on the show is Viviane Chauvet. Viviane has been a guest about 8 months ago on the show, and her interview was our most viewed interview that we've done. She's had over 60,000 views and over 450 comments on her videos. You guys really loved her content. So I'm going to give a quick introduction before we get started. Viviane is a leading voice in the global spiritual and extraterrestrial community, a dominant figure for bridging interdimensional wisdom with grounded human transformation. As an ascended Arcturian being in a holographic human form, Viviane is an ambassador between worlds, guiding humanity's reascension into cosmic sovereignty and higher octaves of light. For over 15 years, Viviane has been a respected teacher, healer, and international speaker. She is the visionary creator of Arcturian Energy Matrix Healing and the Arcturian Healing Arts Program, powerful modalities that support multidimensional evolution, soul ascendancy, and quantum recalibration across timelines and lifetimes. Through her role as founder of the Arcturian University of Universal Consciousness, she offers master-level teachings rooted in galactic intelligence and the sacred frequency of stay in your light. Many individuals are called to meet the next level of consciousness and spiritual development. While uncertain about what exactly they're being called to, they are ready to explore. They are open to guidance, purpose, and deeper understanding of self, both human and galactic, so that they can operate from a higher level. Viviane helps to reawaken, empower, and inspire individuals to embrace their divine blueprint, live in benevolent, innate heart transformation, and manifest their highest timeline as emissaries of light. Choosing reascension means actively returning to empowerment by remembering your infinite self. Viviane, hello, welcome. Nice to have you back with me for part 2.
Yes, part 2. I am so thrilled to be back. Thank you for reopening your doors and your heart to us and to everyone watching. We had an amazing experience together the first time, and here we are again, and it's a joy to be here.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it too much. Some of the comments said, Garrett, you asked too many questions about yourself. And actually, funny enough, I took that on board and I did look. I went with 450 comments on the last video.
Wow.
And I've put together a series of questions that people want to know. And also, you have a documentary coming out on the 11th of August, I believe. Do you want to talk a little bit about that before we get started?
Absolutely. And it's my first official film. And it is very much an endeavor of love. It's a cinematographic journey with the Arcturians. And we took 3 days to film in the positive vortexes of Sedona, Arizona.
Okay.
And also we did film also on location and at a sanctuary. So the energy of not only the vortex, the sharing, you can see me communicating also with nature, and you see me also directly with a live workshop where we talk about genetic consciousness. There's an activation included in the documentary, interaction with people, real people like you and everyone watching, other light-minded people who are also on their journey. So it's a beautiful endeavor, and it's a mystical, multidimensional, as I mentioned, journey. It's the goal is to create those powerful wavelength of light, love energy into the grids throughout the global consciousness for all of us, and to be able to accelerate the ascension process we're in the presence of the positive galactic beings and who we are, and to bring and to share our essence with everyone. So this is my very first film project. It has been beautifully done. And as you'll see, it's not too long, it's not too short. It's just a perfect emergence. And there's going to be a lot of exchange, activations, light, the frequency that we always radiate, as you felt the first time when we came here. And so I definitely invite everyone to join the world premiere. It's going to be followed by a Q&A with me. So there's be a chance to ask questions or explore, and also with other viewers. We're going to be on many platforms at the same time. So it's a release of light. It's a reset. It's a feel like, oh, I am part of this beautiful Reascension Earth project. And it's a reminder of where we are really here for. And it's helped to release, the debris and releasing distortion and sometimes the entangled energy we get into. And I think it's going to be really amazing. And I am thrilled to offer this as a free gift to humanity, completely free. So yes, my very first film. It's called An Arcturian Experience.
Congratulations. And I'll link in the comments down below in the description. People can join, they go down. So that's only in a few days, right? That's on the 11th.
Yes, Monday, August 11. So for the time zone, depending on where you are in the world, it's 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time if you are in the US or Canada. But it's also, I think it's 7 p.m. in the UK, and in Europe, depending on where you are, will be probably between 7 and 9 in the evening, which is still reasonable. Of course, those in Australia and New Zealand will be like in the middle of the night, and I understand that.
You can't please everybody, Vivian.
Oh, that's because I'm on the other side of the hemisphere of the planet. So
Yeah, yeah. And it also kind of aligns with the Lionsgate as well.
yes, the Lionsgate, we're in it right now. We're going to move into its peak on August 8th. And even though the dates on the calendar may feel like, or for me, it's the 9, depending on where you are in the world, you are still receiving the full influx of this very unique astrological occurrence that comes every year. And plus with the interstellar triangulation between the star of Sirius, constellation of Orion, with Lyra, and the sun energy also coming through the planet for the Earth, it's particularly potent this year. And I know many people have been already feeling its full effects. So just be gentle with yourself, stay grounded, connected to your core, feel your heart. Always ask, where am I right now? Where are my thoughts? Where are my emotions? Where am I? And bring yourself back to your centeredness. Let the earth grids of Gaia, the ley lines, to ground you in this loving presence, refresh with clarity. And then you can reset your energy. Then you can move forward. So that would be just a quick way to refresh.
Okay. And it's a great day to meditate, right?
Meditation is always a wonderful practice, but especially right now when the core of manifestation are particularly accelerated. So let's just say that what you are praying about with your heart, feeling your mind is in alignment with your heart, your emotions, your intention, make sure that everything is very clear, because the field of accelerated manifestation is open. It's greatly enhanced by the Lions portal gateway opening. So just really make sure you are super clear, ready with self-love, self-worth, self-confidence, and bring that manifestation forward.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I guess I'd start with some of the questions that we have put together for you with from all the feedback we got from the previous interview. And just so if people want to know more about you and your story, I suggest they go back and watch that first interview because it was fabulous. And I'll link down below as well in the description. So the first question is, how would you define galactic consciousness, Vivian?
Yes, so galactic consciousness is really about starting to remembering that every soul has had so many incarnation that pretty much everybody on the planet, whether you remember it or not, you have potentially have lifetimes on other planets. You may have been a Syrian at some point, or you may have been an Arcturian in some of your life cycles. We call past life, we call them a life cycle or soul cycles. So galactic consciousness is this expanded awareness that removing the third density from your field or removing these veil that says, well, how can it be possible? I live here on this planet. This is my story. This is what I identify strongly with. But when you start to release that third dimensional personality mind or the agenda that comes with it, you start to rediscovering that you are part of a very vast, intelligent multiverses. And part of it is bringing the fact that there are many forms of sentient intelligence group, like, the Antares, Venusian, Andromedan, and others that coexist with you. And chances are they may be an aspect of you because we are multidimensional beings, right? We're not just linear beings. So in the faculties of being multidimensional, you can feel and accepting them. I'm opening my galactic awareness. Is that awareness that I may have had those past lives on other planets, star systems, galaxies, and what frequency did you bring in this lifetime? What gifts, memories, alignment. It can be also lessons. It can be also maybe unresolved lessons, emotions, things that your soul felt it would be a perfect design to bring in this lifetime that also originate from, other lifetimes. So I'll give you an example for this, because examples are important. In my many, many years of practices and teaching, one time I came across a beautiful woman. She was very dedicated to her path. She wants to meditate, but always felt these emotional blocks. And she had those kind of flashes of memories that was unknown to her and unexplained, where they're coming from, what this is about. And when we look into her soul Akashic record, to her soul timelines or multidimensional selves, we discovered that it was a very, very ancient cycle of 50,000 years ago where her soul traveled in another galaxy and she experienced something very deep, very impactful that was, of course, completely forgotten for her here. But that alignment at a soul level, she knew that she brought back this little piece of unresolved energies or unresolved life experience that was 50,000 years ago, brought back in this lifetime, and it was repeat itself as a pattern or a repetition or a thematics that comes back on your life like the loops. And once we start to decoding where the point of origination was, now the light bulbs open up and went, oh, that's why I see this imagery of places I have no memory of, or feeling presence or experiencing in dream state or in my meditation. So it brought that alignment for her, and that old unresolved energy was finally be released because it came to full completion. This is just one example, whether it's remembrance of ancient Greece or the time of Atlantis, Lemuria. A lot of people remember aspect of Egypt or bleep, some blur memories of Egypt and interacting with other star beings. Maybe you were the star beings interacting with the humans in the time of Egypt, and so forth and so forth. So what, again, in simple terms, galactic awareness is accepting that as a multidimensional being, an Earth human being, that I am part of this vast, beautiful galactic sentient community in the multiverse. And as I'm reopening my heart to that new accepting reality, let's just see at a soul level what comes back to you more to help you really fulfill what your soul come to do in this life. It's all part of your soul blueprint. That's the beauty of it.
Hello, I hope you are enjoying this wonderful episode with Viviane. For those who are not already subscribed, if you would like to help this channel out, you could do us a big favor, hit subscribe. It goes a long way to promoting our channel to new audiences through the YouTube algorithm. And the more followers we have, the bigger the guests we can have on the show. So it's totally free. And if you also want to like engage, that also helps, or drop a like. Yeah. So thank you so much for your support. Now back to the show with Viviane. That's amazing. That's amazing. We had a woman on a couple of months ago who's a past life regressionist, and I think she had worked with Michael Newton, very well known. She was part of his school, and they discovered that there was three soul types that were incarnating on the planet. One of them was just human souls that they come in and they'll do thousands and thousands of lifetimes. And then she spoke about interplanetary souls or star seeds, which I guess is the same thing you're talking about.
Well, this is a great, wonderful sideways, and thank you for bringing that. So, yes, there are souls who may have come directly from another planet, but they're very much more within the family of human beings. They're simply on another planet and on the third density. Those souls comes what's called what we call earthbounds. Earthbound
Yeah.
souls feel very at ease here. Earth is their home. They're comfortable in the third density. They're comfortable in the actual structure. They feel, comforted. They feel safe. They feel protected. You can tell that those souls are what's called earthbound. It's just another way to describe it. The interplanetary or star seed, again, same semantics, it's soul emanations of being that represent maybe another extraterrestrial group consciousness like the Andromedan or like the Pleiadian or the Antares or the Arcturian. And what we do is that we send forth a fragment of our consciousness or soul aspect, and usually those souls reincarnate into a human body. Then the woman born, the mother give birth to. But when they grew up, they can feel like this is not my home. I feel like there's a family waiting for me. I feel out of place. I'm the black sheep of the family. My perception of reality is very different from those around me. What's happening? There's an innate understanding and recognition that something is off, and the stars are very appealing. They're calling me. Those are typically, again, it's just a generic description, but they're typically these interplanetary or / star seed soul comes. And there's also what's called the star helpers, souls who may come from a multidimensional aspect. They already have mastery. They're very ancient soul, but they're not really here to be completely hands-on with healing people or helping or to be of service or moving into the ascension. They're here to support the star seeds. So for example, let's say you have a partner in your life or a life partner, and that partner may support you without necessarily be on board what you do. It is possible it's part of the star helpers group who came, and they have their own gift, their own purpose. It's just that they're here to support the interplanetary beings who come, we're the ones who are very hands-on. There's a calling. We're here to be of service. How can I help? There's this desire within the soul level.
And would they be like grid workers or light workers?
That's all part of this. Yes. So when we call ourselves light workers or light-minded people or grid works or chakra system or hypnotherapists, it's just the avenue in which the soul expresses itself. But they can be part of that soul group of star seeds representing different intergalactic civilizations.
And they hold a frequency, right? And they're probably transmuting energy just by being here.
Just by being there, you're absolutely right on. There's no need to have a very large channel and doing all these videos all the time and having a gazillion of subscribers to be of service. There's many ways to be of service. How many beautiful light-minded people or light workers will go behind the scene, travel, do great works, they shed lights, they talk with people, they help people along the way. You're making an impact. Everything, it counts. Even though you may not be known as, a bestseller author, or maybe this is your soul say, I no need for the spotlight. I'm going to be behind the scene. Your role is just as important, like yourself, to facilitate these important podcasts of consciousness and galactic awareness. You're playing a role as well. So everyone play a role within the unique soul design that you brought forward, whether you're a starseed, whether an ancient soul, maybe you're a celestial being, a star helper, or even an earthbound who come here just to learn about yourself. Now, those people in our life may feel detached, aloof, more like self-serving in all of this, but ask yourself, I'll be curious, is it possible that their sole purpose here is to help them to clear certain karmic lessons, and then later on they will move on and the soul will evolve to another level? That is possible.
Wow. Okay. What are the core insights or teachings you've channeled or understood from the Arcturians, and how can we apply them to enhance our everyday lives?
Yes, it's another beautiful question. So our teachings are universal concept. They're ancient. They're also very unifying. So for example, when we teach about, the universal time matrix, it's understanding how the soul evolves. So for example, a practical application of one of that teaching would be, I more recognizing myself that I releasing more my attachments to what's called my 3D personality self. And by doing that, you're starting to bridge on consciousness the connections to your higher self. That can be deepening your meditation practices. You feel more grounded. You feel less prone to be, thrown off balance by all the changes, the fear energy, what has been pushed on Facebook and news, and other people who may have a less understanding or lack of connection to themselves. So it helps you to gain a deeper reconnection to the self-mastery, understand your body language, what it's healing, what do you need, how your chakra system truly works. It's not just a one size fits all. We may have similar chakra system, but they communicate on a quantum level a very unique way to you. So for example, I've seen example of people where their crown chakra is directly influenced by their root, or the root will be influenced by the sacral, and so forth and so forth. So understanding how of these intuitive centers really work for you. How do you a feeler? Do you feel more that you see? But that's your strong point. Open that center of intuition, and then you can invite the other clairs to participate and to enhance. You're starting to reharmonize how you can utilize in your day-to-day life these natural innate gifts. And then from there, the pathway of self-mastery become much more a natural way. It's a second nature, as natural as it is to eat and to breathe and, to take care of our bodies. You move in a different way of holistic care. And it's all intertwined into that spiritual practices. It's always consciousness, follow frequencies.
And the human body, in terms of like health and nutrition, how important is that as well, Viviane?
I would say number one
Yeah.
on the list, no matter how vitamins, exercise, no exercise, yoga, no yoga you do, number one is, what is your mental or mindset relationship with your body? Your body energy will be spent more to comply to that mindset in your emotional state. So one thing in other teachings, the ancient teaching of the Arcturians, is how to cultivate more and more and expanding your emotional energy intelligence. Because it's incredible how much energy is spent on emotions or
Mm.
unrecognized emotions combined with sustained thought patterns. Just
Yeah.
that can have the power to either create alignment or disalignment, right?
Yeah, I mean, an ego that's driven takes up an awful lot of energy to keep moving, right? To keep going.
Huge amount of energy. I mean, really much so. The amount that the amount of energy your body is required to keep up with just with your thoughts. How many thoughts a day do you generate? What are the qualities?
Yeah.
What is the vibration of your thoughts? What are they aligned with? What are you sustaining? So very often we ask, we invite people, I should say, that be mindful of where you investing your energy or wasting your energy into. And that will create also a magnet to create a new form of reality for you. And your body intelligence is designed to keep up and keep you alive to protect you. So for example, if he has to decrease your vitality to redirect that to the immune system, the cardiovascular system, your cognitive faculties, the functionality of your lungs, and the digestive system, everything that keeps your body alive, the body will know how to do. If it needs to store more fat because your hormonal system is out of balance, the body will do it. So the body constantly finds solution to compensate for the demands that you have. So again, yes, nutrition. What type of nutrition? What are you ready to release and increase more? What type of vitamins? It's not about having 20 bottle, ingesting all these vitamins, then you go into an overdose. Balance. It's all about balance, harmonization. But that requires, number one, consciousness in everything.
Okay, wonderful. What unique gifts or wisdom do spiritually advanced star nations like the Arcturians offer to support humanity's spiritual awakening and evolution?
Think of it this way. Many of us are thousands and thousands of years old. So take a civilization like the Arcturians. We have ascended thousands of years ago. We have been existing for millions of years. So what we offer, it's a beautiful mastery that has been cultivated and learned over thousands of years. So you just pause it for a moment. That question is so multi-layered because of the potential we can bring. And again, it's number one, it's helping you to return into a complete sovereign state. Sovereignty combined with emotional intelligence, conscious expansion, you start to move into more light body ascension. And that is helping to raise the humanity as a species to return to our original state of higher consciousness as galactic cosmic human beings. And then the question you have now will be transcended because you're moving into a whole level of understanding. It's almost like we're, opening the curtains in front of you. It says, allow us to guide you as very ancient, loving, and yet potent teachers. And that teaching become guidelines, practices, application, embodiment, cultivation, and it's all the above. So it's very multidimensional and very ancient. It's always within the universal principles of returning to unification, releasing polarity into integration, and be able to feel like what stages are you ready to take on? And everything will be done at your own pace. All we ask is dedication and commitment. And that is for you. We've done the work. We've already reached that level. What all we say is that we are an example for your potential, and you can reach that as well. It's within your grasp.
Wonderful. Can you explain the transition from 3D to 5D spirituality and what this shift entails for individuals in practical terms?
One thing that we see when we're shifting from a third density experience, because remember, it's also experiences. So your soul comes to learn from what this density is about. So we're moving from a baseline of linear time, polarity concept to learn karmic lessons, earn more experiences, earning more wisdom, knowledge, right? The soul acquires knowledge through experiences. What is important is that when we start to release, as I mentioned earlier, that 3D personality, trait or this identity you wear like a Halloween costume. On Halloween, we can embody any character. I can be Cleopatra, or I can be, a Celtic goddess. But will you keep Will you keep that costume and that character all year round? Or when the time passes, you've learned from it, it was great, you release a costume, you would say, well, yes, Halloween, we can relate to that. When I'm using a 3D example that we can all understand, that is the same thing. When you start to understand that you no longer identify so heavily through that 3D personality that you've embodied, have learned to embody, learned to accept, whether it's through your lineages, your upbringing, educational system, depending, of course, cultural background you grew up. Because if we speak to someone from India versus from someone from England, there will be profound differences. How they perceive themselves and their own authority to source, or what we call supreme source or prime creator. Again, there will be a lot of sub-gods or deities, depending on what you've been taught. If you identify yourself again that you are simply a little grain of sand in a vast universe, your mindset will reflect that false humility. So it's about releasing ourselves, how we are heavily relying on the protection, the guidance, and the false safety of what's called the 3D logic mind, or some people call it ego. We prefer the terms 3D logic mind. It releases judgment and emotions around the word ego. It neutralizes it. The 3D mind serves a purpose as long as you graduate from it. So invite your mind to reopen to more your higher universal mind. This is where you start guidance with your higher self and all of this.
Okay, and what are some practical tips that people can do to move from a 3D mindset into that 5D reality or way of being?
Well, absolutely. So, we talk about a natural dimensional shift. So as you're opening your consciousness, you start to accept that there's your profound nature as an eternal being. It is only an aspect, a fractal of you or spirit in that body. Understand, okay, what I have here to learn, what have I learned so far? What pattern am I ready to release and bring to full completion? And if you look at your thought forms, your thought patterns, just for a moment, every day, whether you want to meditate, whether you want to do yoga, whether you want to do Reiki, or whether you're watching some YouTube videos like this one, ask yourself, what is it that is contributing to keeping me in that, what we call a more 3D spiritual approach? That I'm still looking to my logic mind. I need to see, I need to feel, I need to see evidence. I'm more hands-on, or allowing a more intuitive, higher guidance through your higher self, listening to your guides, listening to your heart intuition. Are you really opening the field within yourself, recognizing that I haven't always known what I've known, but my mind is dialing, and that filtering system, it's a hook. It brings me back here. So what it does is that it's helping to clear those channels and start to naturally reharmonize the synergy or relationship between your higher self, that part of your 3D lower self, and just by your intention, declare, I am making room, I'm making space in my mind, in my heart, in my body, in my light body, and in my life for more light to come in. I am making room. I choose consciously to bring in more light. And that light is that higher guidance. It's just knowing how to respond to something that may be hurtful, or to respond to something that may feel very fearful. There's a prediction, there's a earthquake coming up. What about money? What's going to happen here? And you start to feel that you start to perceive these 3D concepts, but from a new perspective. There's a field of perception is opening. And you start to feel like, I think that my 3D self say I should be worried, but there's a higher part of me that says there's nothing to worry. And here's the energy behind it. So it's really an application. Breathe, take the time to breathe, go outside. Sounds like a cliche, but feel how Mother Gaia is really supporting you. Are you grounded in yourself? We call it the new form of grounding self in loving presence. I'm grounding myself in my love, in my light. I am present. I am clear. So clear your receptacle, empty your field of what you think you've been there, done that. And you start to feel you're oversaturated. You're no longer teachable. You're no longer flexible. You're no longer adjustable to vibration. If that happened, okay, thank you. I recognize that. Now I can reset and clear myself so I can be teachable, flexible, and adaptable to changes. Whether it's vibration, a new thought, new mindset, new energy in my heart, something is opening. I have new dreams. I'm going to explore that. So this is just some markers that we can work with, if that makes sense, Gareth.
Yes, absolutely. And just sticking with the practical aspects, what specific meditations or practices do you suggest for tapping into the energies of advanced star nations or connecting with galactic consciousness?
There are many meditation. I know that we offer a monthly free meditation series on what's called the Starseed meditation series on my YouTube channel. It's also on the Arcturian University. You can sign up for free in the free content section. All the meditations are there. I have recorded many Starseed, and I would say you can start there, listen to them, and feel when you say, oh, today we work with the Syrians. How does it feel? How do you respond? What is responding in your heart, your body, energetically? Now we work with the Pleiadians or the Lyrians, or we work with Regulus and Vega, or we work with the Antares. Just talk to feel that you are adapting your consciousness and your vibrational state to match that to another species, another consciousness. Practicing that way is a very safe place in your own environment, and you can watch at your pace. Just tune in. I'm going to invite that frequency more. Okay, had enough. I am going to integrate that. Next time you feel like, oh, my heart just expanded. I'm ready to embrace the Syrians. There's something there for me. Okay, are you ready? Do you see yourself as a higher consciousness connecting to another? Now remember, when you connect with a star being or intergalactic being, the number one thing I want to ask you to prevent to do is to project your human self expecting a human response. This is why it's important to practicing expanding your consciousness. Do you accept other life form? You can look around on this planet. Are you kind to animals? Are you kind when you see or find a bee in distress or a bird? Are you present to it? Are you present to feel that a tree seems lacking of water and not doing good? Do you connect with the tree? Recognize that as another consciousness. Are you tuned to life? So if you are attuned to different life forms here, it's going to prepare you to be attuned to other life form that may look very different from you. Not everyone looks like a human with a head, torso, hands, and all of it. Or they may look humanoid, but they have a very profound ET look to them. Nonetheless, it is still a sentient life form just like you. So preparing ourselves to expand our field of acceptance and to be comfortable to be in the presence of another being. Practice with the life you have here around you, your pets, animals. Encounter a dog is lost, fearful. Will you listen? Are you paying attention? You feel like, oh, just a dog. Then you're disconnected from life. That's one thing we see from the intergalactics is that human being needs to heal the gap between themselves and other life. And that healing is right at the heart. That's your compassion center. This the place of being an empath. It is part of the greatest gifts that human beings have. So use them wisely.
That's a great message. Wonderful.
Thank you.
How do you believe planetary movements or shifts in timelines influence our spiritual growth and our ability to connect with higher dimensional beings?
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's all of the above. Why? Because you are constantly interconnected to everything. Look at just the ecosystems of life on this planet, on Earth. What happened in Australia will affect us in the US, or US to Australia. You hear something in the Middle East, your heart opens. You want to send love prayers for people, animals, families. You know, you want to bring peace. You want to meditate for world peace. So you understand that what is affecting a part of the world is affecting the entire ecosystem of the earth. There's a memory reflection in the water system, the air that we breathe. You know, like in Canada in the summer, they have a lot of, you know, forest fire, unfortunately. And then it can be like right across the country, and then they can feel and smell the smoke. It's
Yeah.
That's a palpable example. It is the same thing. The intergalactics are part of the multiverse. You are part of the multiverse. So the way you think, feel, you project your energy consciously and unconsciously, we receive it. We can receive all these waves. Those are like wavelengths of energy that travels like radio signals beyond the earth, beyond your home, beyond your work environment or your day-to-day life. You don't think about your thought, it's gone. But that thought continues to generate an energy like a ripple effect in time. So we receive all these energy coming through.
Yeah, I mean, we only have to be around a negative person for, a few hours to feel that transmission that they send out, right?
Right? Exactly. So just like a fear can spread like wildfires, so is joy, so is love, so is true universal compassion, so is soothing energies. And then you have the energy to kind of create a beautiful soothing, neutralized energy that allows everyone to go, wow, that felt good. I'm back to myself. I was caught up for a moment, but thank you. I'm back now. What did you do? All I did is just to send those signals. And that is profound.
Yeah, and actually, even reading through some of the comments on our previous interview, a lot of people went, "Oh, amazing energy in the conversation, right? It's not just listening to words. There's a
Mm.
transmission coming through."
Absolutely 100%. That's what we convey. Because I am an ET being in a hybrid human form. When we speak, it's a collective of us speaking and transmitting to the oneness of a voice that you hear, all these beautiful light frequency. What we do is we exchange our soul essence. This is how we communicate with each other. This is how we share. So that beautiful energy that is conveyed even right now, it is the same principle. So imagining when you connect to your heart and you feel, I am so ready to rediscovering, remembering my star family, my star brothers and sisters, my old friends, and invite to the heart always that of the highest light. You invite those who are enlightened, spiritually aligned with you, who are here to supporting you in your true self. Sovereignty, benevolence, compassion, kindness. Can we exchange knowledge? Can we exchange who we are? It is an exchange, not a one-way streak. So that's the thing about, that's part of the first question, galactic awareness. See how it's all intertwined?
Absolutely, absolutely. What part do you think the Star Nations play in aiding the Earth's ascension?
Yes, that's a multitude aspect of parts. So many of us are part of what's called the Galactic Federation of Light. When we have councils, we come together, we reassess the situation in the solar system, how the Earth is shifting even in dimensional space, in consciousness. What is also the point of influence that may be slowing down your progress? What is the interference? Can we help to release that interference without interfering in your growth? And there's a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of movement. There's also many ships, even though you don't see them physically or even through, the day-to-day telescope or instrument. You may catch some glimpse here and there, but there's a lot of omnipresence, especially for those of us who are enlightened and spiritually oriented, to supporting your success, supporting the manifestation of your highest timeline. And if you understand that the souls who are ready to move in their ascension, it will happen organically, naturally. And souls who need more time or more lifetime, to heal, to complete what they've learned, to graduate eventually and move on, they will be allowed as well. So the assistance is, look how many point of contact we have on the planet. Starseeds who are reincarnated as human form. People who communicate with star beings, bring messages.
Channelers, right?
Channelers, exactly. So those are what we call points of contact. So those souls know us or may have had in the past a few life cycles with us, and they remember that connection, or they remember the collaboration because their star nations work with us. So there's a lot of soul agreements that we make to have several points of contact. And depending on the quality of the consciousness, and depending if they have not too many filtering system, well, the message will be stronger, more pure. Sometimes it's a little bit diluted, depending on the capacity of the channeler, which is why, Gareth, I chose to come back in this very uniquely designed hybrid human form to prevent that kind of filtering system. And this is why I have no need to channel. I speak to you as an Arcturian being on behalf of all of us, plus the many other beautiful beings that we are in partnership with. So again, it's all about where you are, depending what have influenced you, and what is still unresolved in your field. And old stories playing out as loops that also create filtering systems. So, everything is an invitation. It really is.
Okay, wonderful. Could you share a personal story where you experienced a profound connection to galactic consciousness or received direct guidance from star nations?
It's natural for me because I'm part of
Yeah.
the Star Nations. I'm here as a direct liaison. So all my life, it's always been like, think of it as a second nature, because this is who I am profoundly. And I embody it. I have accepted because this is who I am. I don't know anything else. And for me, it's the opposite. It's more of learning to have profound experiences with the human race, or to learn from life experience. So for me, it's the opposite. So I'm this direct point of liaison as an ambassador. I was the one assigned to this quadrant and the Earth. I accepted it. And so now I am learning to understand these profound moments with you on the planet at different time of my life journey. And that experience is relayed back to the galactics so we can better understand what are the needs, where are we, what are we looking at. And so we're reteaching some of these intergalactic groups who have no understanding of what compassion is, the way human beings do. You have a very unique way to understand compassion, and I love that about humans. A capacity for love, capacity to, have this sensitivity. You're strong and you are sensitive all at once. It's sometimes it's a mystery for these other galactic beings who come from a complete different sphere of reality. So I am the perfect bridge in between to relay that, to be able to convey this experience. And so not only through my human experience, I'm reteaching the galactic beings, and then we teach you very ancient teachings. So we're meeting together.
So I guess as humans, right, we have something called humor, right? And that might not be experienced in some of these star nations, right? They may not get humor.
Not in a sense that you understand it. However, there are other beings who have learned, and they have their own sense of humor, and you may find it funny. For us, humor, I have learned in this lifetime to incorporate humor. And sometimes I think I'm hilarious, nobody laughs. And I'm thinking, oh, that must be very ET of my part, like a spark type of humor. And over the time, I've learned, because I have so much compassion, so much love in me and an understanding. But it's true. Or you would say, oh no, my galactic beings are hilarious, but they have learned to adapt to you, or in some other, it's completely inexistent. It's a foreign language. They have no point of reference to understand what humor would be. So, oh yes, it's all of the above.
And would they, so the ones that don't really have humor in their everyday lives, would they come in to experience our humor? Like, I kind of have this vision of them sitting, in a ship, kind of watching us like a sitcom.
You are so funny. Well, if I were to do a sitcom of some of these beings we have encountered, if we know, you would go, you may not even be able to see it because it would be so out of your frame of reference of your reality. It's the same thing for them. Some of them, not all of them, but some beings are from higher octave. They may have just an observation that this is part of the human makeup. This is part of how your species express themselves without having, they may have need to a translator, and this is where we can come in as well. Hurt human beings have a way it's called to release endorphin, and they smile, or they bring humor to diffuse certain situation, and this is how they communicate. You go, oh, okay. But we will need to explain, because again, it's like I'm going to send you deep into an original or aboriginal tribe that never saw escaped, big cities or cell phone, and they will tell you how they live. You will go, okay, we know we're still human species, but I have a very hard time understanding, where you're coming from. It's almost like we're two different beings, because we no longer have a common share of reality, language, and background reference to be able to relate to each other. And you may need a translator who has studied a culture to tell you what, for them, going like this means I love you. And you go, okay, that's new, and something like this. So it's very diversified, which is why, Gareth, from the question we had earlier, opening your galactic awareness, again, it's opening your field of understanding. So you're moving into a more universal approach rather than to pushing your 3D human expectation from based on your filters, what is acceptable, what you have learned. And this is why that more and more and more, many of us are here to supporting your rising in your light. And as you're teaching us some of the profound ways to communicate and to stay communicating into source. Human beings, you have a natural ability to connect to source because of this love, this compassionate nature, the potential of the light that you can carry. Oftentimes it is buried deep down out of fear, wounds, uncertainty, the fear of being hurt, and then you dim your light. It changes nothing to the fact it's still there. It's just still buried under layers. So we're just peeling the layers to allow that natural light to come back to the surface and say, whoa, this is who I am. I love it. I'm embracing it now. That makes sense.
Absolutely beautiful. Last question. For the viewers new to these concepts, what's the most accessible way to start exploring 5D spirituality or receiving messages from beings like the Arcturians?
Well, if you are new onto your journey, I would say fantastic. If you ask the question, there's already an opening in you. This is the first step, is there an opening? Because people who are not even ready would not even think about asking a question that way.
Yeah.
So this is already a great step. It's about looking into yourself. What is holding you back? What are the mechanism or the pattern that seems to anchor you in that 3D linear reality, whether it's a safety, whether it's, maybe it's a genetic lineage passing down of, well, tradition always been this way, I don't know anything else. When we hear these statements, we say your 3D logic mind is letting you know that outside of that frame of your reference, anything else is abnormal in imagination, a potential, but it's not part of your reality because this is your mind filtering for you. So as long as your 3D logic mind is filtering for you and it's your guided force, it may wants to protect you and put you behind like a shield and says, allow me to handle that for you. And the mind is greatly influenced by your subconscious mind and your unconscious mind, all these dynamics. So to identify what pattern have you been seeing, and you feel like, I'm ready to really bring completion understanding and completion from a pattern, whether it's a fear of what? So when you identify the source of that fear on its own does nothing. It's what it represents, the meaning behind it, who's behind that fear, what concept, teaching, event, situation, impact. Once you identify what is really generating fear and on what level, that is all another huge step of breaking free and opening yourself to a higher level of consciousness. You start to really opening the shell. The shell is cracking and opening. Think of it like a lotus flower. If you're a little bit closed down and you're exploring, then imagine you opening yourself, let more light in. Let more light come through. I'm bringing the light of my higher self. I'm bringing the light of Prime Creator, Universal Intelligence. Okay, a little bit more. Oh, it triggers something in my body. I feel something in my heart. I feel a stomach retraction, a pain. Okay, let's explore what is it? What is the light is to teaching you? Then address that with compassion, without judgment, without shame, without guilt, or feeling that I am behind. That's an illusion. Every soul is uniquely designed. What you've come to learn may take a lifetime, but it's perfect for you. I have clients who are in their early and mid 80s, and they're stepping in their spiritual journey now, and they're recognizing that all their life, do a career, raising a family, or some of them went through different war, whether it's Philippines, Germany, and other places in the world. They have a lot to heal, but they're blossoming more. There's something stronger, a voice, a calling in their heart, their soul, that is calling them to do more than what they have known so far. All of these steps are important. It's nothing is small anymore, or mundane or less than. And last thing, very practical, please avoid comparing yourself to others. Even when you meditate with a group, or you're part of a spiritual community, or you're following a teacher you feel you trust, but you feel that others seems to see more. Why are they seeing more? You feel like less, your self-worth take a hit. Self-worth, good news. It's implied. That's granted. Self-worth is granted. Why? Because you are a beautiful being of light. You're playing a role. Your soul is learning from these experiences. So right now, accept self-worth. It's already gained. I accept that. I have complete self-worth. No matter what you've been told or what you went through, self-worth is yours. It's your birthright. So right there. So allow yourself to evolve in the resonance of your being and what you've come to learn, achieve, move beyond. And even again, if it takes an entire lifetime, what you achieve, what you've come to do. What if the fear? Well, what if I miss the mark? That's your mind. That's a 3D mind. Release that, bring to your heart, and feel, I trust in the certainty of my light. I trust in the certainty of my higher self, of my soul design, and I trust and I have everything I need right here, right now, to be able to naturally and organically along a lifetime to fulfill what you come at a soul level to do. And this is where there's powerful changes in paradigm. You can start to co-create a brand new reality, what's called a resonance of reality. And when you start to magnify and attract in your life, going to start to shift in a higher quality, whether it's partnership, romance, career, financial abundance, health, vitality, practices, your life will resonate in the same light that you bring. So if you're living retracted, your life has no space to express itself. But if you reopen, your life has more space now to be able to manifest truly everything you've come to learn, experience, all the blessings, everything comes with it. So again, those are powerful tools, yet practical. They're accessible. Practice, practice, practice. Very much so.
That's a great message to finish off on, Vivian. Thank you so much. I mean, the questions were great, and your information that you relayed back was just mind-blowing today. Really, really amazing. I'm so happy we could do this interview. Is there anything you feel that I've left out you'd like to add before we leave?
Well, again, it's about returning to accepting that you're much more than just this 3D human being. And the concept of having a past, present, future, just allow yourself, give yourself the gift of flexibility, curiosity, and of course, adaptability. When you give yourself those gifts, everything becomes possible. Again, invite more light in your mind, in your heart, in your life, in your body, in everything. I invite more light and see how it does for you. Allowing this beautiful divine intelligence to co-create with you, as opposed to boxing in limited format from the 3D logic mind. And that would say a beautiful example of moving from a 3D to a higher 5D right there.
Amazing. So if people want to connect with you, I'm going to link down to your YouTube and your website. Do you want to just call out your website there for the listeners?
Of course. So the main website is called infinitehealingfromthestars.com, infinitehealingfromthestars.com. We also have the film trailer on the homepage. And we also have a link to the Arcturian University, which is a beautiful sanctuary of ancient teaching, universal practices in a community atmosphere. We have free content. We have also the membership that brings a level of commitment. And this is where you access to so much more. We do retreat. We do so much.
Yeah,
together.
I know you travel doing workshops as well around the world.
Yes.
There's lots of ways you can connect with Vivian.
Absolutely.
Vivian, yeah, amazing. Yeah, totally happy we reconnected again. Thank you so much. And thank you to the viewers and listeners.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
This has been the Endless Possibilities Podcast, where the journey of spiritual awakening and energy healing unfolds. Gareth is a lifelong seeker of truth, a spiritual teacher and author, and it's his passion to delve into the profound world of consciousness. We hope you've enjoyed the show, and we hope you've gotten something from it. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, the podcast is available on YouTube and all the major podcasting platforms. Find us on Instagram at _mother_force. Take care, and we'll see you soon on the Endless Possibilities Podcast.